are these two worlds of which Mr. Wallace spoke? The free and the slave. Let's take the free world first, our world. How did it become free? Only through a long and unceasing struggle inspired by men of vision. Moses, which is best expressed in our own Declaration of Freedom. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. It is the cornerstone upon which our nation was built and the ideal of all the great liberators. Washington, Jefferson, Garibaldi, Lafayette, Kosciuszko, Bolivar, Lincoln. Lighthouses, lighting up a dark and foggy world.
That government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Fighting, living, dying. For what? For freedom. That for which men have fought since time began. To be free.
Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death.
But what of this other world? Here men insisted that progress lay in killing freedom. Here they were putting out the lighthouses, one by one. Here the march of history was reversing itself.
Each enforced its decrees by an army of secret police who held the power of life and death over every individual.
So it's quite difficult to film here. We've got about 6 minders with us the whole time. They're telling us what we can film, what we can't do. Sometimes they delete our material. On top of that, we've got about another 8 to 10 security guards that further restrict our movements. What I can tell you from the car is that though they've set up a kind of grid-like management system, and every 100 metres or so you see a police station, and they're aided with enormous amounts of CCTV cameras, with facial recognition, to really have a total control here. What is clear is that there is quite a brutal, repressive crackdown going on here, and technology is at the centre of it.
Xinjiang's take on social credit is simple and ruthless. Citizens here are not given a score. Instead, they're divided into just 3 categories: trustworthy, average, untrustworthy. If you're Han Chinese, you're deemed trustworthy and granted freedom of movement. But if you're Uyghur, you're average, with restrictions imposed on travel and religious practices. If you're a Uyghur male who breaks those restrictions, you're marked as untrustworthy and detained in what the party calls education and training centres. In August this year, the UN announced it had seen credible reports that over 1 million Uyghurs are currently held without charge in camps in Xinjiang, purely because of their